Hey guys, my name is La'eeqa and I am the head makeup artist for Catrice Cosmetics, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this quick and easy Valentine's Day look for a night out with your girls or guy. So if you want to see how I've created this look, keep on watching. So the first thing that I like to start with is the eyebrows, and for brows today I'm going to be using the Catrice 72-Hour Natural Brow Precise Liner, and this is the shade 04 Dark Brown. Now I love this liner. It's because it has such a tiny tip and it makes your application really precise to really draw on those natural brow hairs. So the first thing that I do is I brush up my brows just to set it all in place. So when you use this product, you want to use a really soft touch because you don't want it to just go everywhere. So you want to use a really soft, light, feathery strokes. So now that all the gaps are nicely filled out and it's looking really natural, the next thing that I like to do is I like to go in with a concealer to clean up and really lift that brow. And for concealer today, we are going to be using the Liquid Camouflage Concealer in the shade number 48. So now I'm going in with a flat brush, and that's going to really help to carve out and shape that brow. This is also a nice way to clean up any mistakes you might have made. Okay, so remember, if you are plotting your brow, at the side of your nose is where your brow needs to start, and just offside from the center of your eye is where your brow needs to lift, and then it begins to slope. And if you measure at the corner of your eye, that is where your brow needs to end. And that's how you know your brow needs to be filled out or how it needs to look. So now I'm going to go ahead and blend this in using a blending brush. I'm going to go ahead and prep my eyelids for eyeshadow. So the reason that we use an eyeshadow base is to prevent your eyeshadow from creasing, because obviously your lids are oily, and also to intensify the color of your eyeshadow so that it shows up. So what you're going to do is you're just going to apply the eyeshadow base everywhere that you're going to apply your eyeshadow. So I'm blending that in all over the lid, everywhere that my eyeshadow is going to go on. So now that my eyelids are primed and prepped, I'm going to go in with a loose banana powder just to set the eyeshadow base. So I've gone ahead and taped up my eye because I really want that nice, clean, sharp eye. And that's another trick for you. When you want that nice, clean, sharp eye, all you have to do is just use tape. And when I put on the tape, I use the corner of my eye as a guideline and then up towards my brow, so in that direction. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going in with this Peach Origin palette, and the shade that I'm going to be going for today is called Curious. So Curious is this beautiful gold shimmer color, and that's all I want for the eye, is this gold shimmer color. So I'm going to be going in with a blending brush and I'm picking up some of that shade Curious, and I'm going to be applying that all over the lid, concentrating it just in the crease of the eye, the natural crease of the eye, and I'm going to be using a windshield wiper motion to really blend that in place. So now I'm going to be going in with this nude palette and I'm going to be using the shade Bold. The glitter is a little bit more chunky, so I thought that if we could just pat that on just on the inside of the eye. So now, just to give this eye a little bit of definition, I'm going to be going in with the Catrice Micro Swim pencil, and I'm just going to be lining my eye just on the corner to give it more of a Bella Hadid sort of eye, that slanted, really foxy looking eye. So when I do an eyeliner, I always like to pull the eye, and then that prevents the eye from jumping and helps you get more of an even stroke. So I want to give this eye that beautiful fox eye, so I'm using this Micro Swim pencil just to also sort of line the inner corners of my eye, giving it that beautiful fox shape. So now I want to sort of smoke out that liner a little bit using an angle brush, and I'm going to be going in with the shade called Umber. So you can keep doing this step until you get that nice smokiness that you desire, or the pigment and color payoff that you want. So now we are ready to peel back that tape. Okay, so now now that the brows and eyes are done, we can now move on to the rest of the face. And the next thing that I'm going to be going in with is some Energy Boost Serum. So I really love the serum because it has a ginger complex, it's got vitamin C, so it's gonna really help to awaken and make your skin appear more vibrant. We're going to put this on first, and then we're gonna allow it to set for a minute, and then we're gonna go in with our primer. So while that is busy settling into my skin, I also want to prep my lips for lipstick, and I'm going to be going in with the Youth Lip Serum. That's going to really moisturize and hydrate and prep my lips for the lipstick. So the next thing that we're going to go in with, now that this is all settled into my skin, is we're going to be using a primer. And for primer, we're going to be using the Clean ID Insta-Bright Serum Primer. Now the reason we use a primer is to help fill in any fine lines and wrinkles. It helps to smooth out your skin to make for a smooth application for your foundation to go on. And I'm going to be using this one because it's actually a brightening serum as well. So I've used the Energy Boost Serum that's going to help to really awaken a dull skin. And now I'm going in with a brightening primer to try and brighten up my skin. So before we move on to foundation, I like to color correct my skin, and I'm going to be using the Catrice Allround Concealer palette. I really love this palette because it's such a versatile palette. It's got the green and the peach and some skin tone colors there that you can use after you've color corrected. So when I say color corrected, I mean that I'm going to go in with a peach concealer underneath my eye area. So what peach concealer does is it actually helps to neutralize any darkness or blueness. So if you have a pimple, or you have a discoloration underneath the eyes, or you have discoloration around the mouth area, this is going to neutralize that and not make it show up after you put your foundation on. So remember to always use a peach concealer if you're color correcting underneath your foundation. And then if you have rosacea, or you have a pimple that's red, green concealer actually cancels out redness, and that also goes on underneath your foundation. So after your primer, the next step is always to color correct, and then you move on to foundation. So now I'm going to be going in, just using a flat brush, I'm going to be going in with the peach concealer just under my eye area. So now I'm just going to use my ring finger, and I'm just going to blend that in. It's sometimes nice to use your fingers as well, because the warmth from your fingers actually help to blend out the concealer. So for foundation today, I am going to be using my favorite, which is the True Skin Hydrating Long Wear Foundation. Now I love this foundation because it gives you great coverage without that cakey, heavy feeling. So now I'm going to be using a flat foundation brush to apply my foundation, and then I'm going to be going in with my beauty blender to blend that all together. And remember that when you're blending your foundation with a beauty blender, it needs to be damp, and that's going to give you that beautiful airbrushed finish. So, and now that the foundation is properly blended in, now it is time to highlight and contour, which is my favorite thing personally. So by highlighting and contouring, what we mean is, so by highlighting, we are accentuating, so we are bringing forward. So when the light hits our face, these are the areas that it will accentuate and lift. And remember, if you are highlighting, you need to always use a shade lighter than your natural skin tone. So when we are highlighting, this is how we want to highlight. You want to create a little asterisk on the forehead, a little star, just like that. And then you want to highlight down the bridge of the nose, like so. And then I like to highlight the chin area as well. And then highlighting underneath the eye area. So I like to highlight down the nose like that. And then just bring it up slightly. And then just to clean up that eye as well. And if you wanted to go further, you could possibly highlight along the jawline like that. I always find it works better to highlight, blend in, and then to contour and then blend that in, because then you know exactly how much you need to use and then it's not too harsh on the face. So now I'm going in with my damp beauty blender and I'm just using these dabbing motions on the spot just to dab that in place. So now we are ready to contour. And for contouring today, I'm going to be using my True Skin foundation, but I'm going to be using it in a darker shade. And this shade is the shade number 90, Cool Espresso. So I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush and I'm literally just going to create little tacks along the forehead. And I think I'm going to blend as I go because I don't want this to dry on my forehead and then it's going to just create a line. So I'm creating the little tacks on my forehead and then I'm going to be using a stippling brush. So when you blending in your forehead contour, you want to blend upwards into the hairline. So the next thing is we're going to contour down the sides of the nose, also creating little tacks and a little V like that. And that's your nose contour. And then I'm using a blending brush to just blend that down either side of the nose. And then into the eyeshadow like this underneath the brow. So when you're doing your cheekbone contour, you want to always use your ear as a guideline. So you want to contour from the top of your ear there downwards, but you don't want to go below the top lip. So basically you want to do that. And if you wanted to go ahead and contour your jawline here as well, you could. And if you're blending your jawline contour, you want to blend upwards towards the temples. And then for your jawline contour, you want to blend downwards into the neck area. Okay, now that's blended, we are on to our next step, which is I'm going to bake a little bit and set all of this in place with powder. And I'm going to be using my banana powder. So I'm going to be using some of that banana powder and I'm picking up some product on my damp beauty blender. And I just want to place that just like that, just to snatch the nose a bit. So I like using banana powder because it has a yellow tinge and it actually makes it so beautiful for my skin tone because it actually highlights the under eye as well with that yellow tinge. So while that's baking, I'm going to be using my Holiday Skin bronzer. So this has a waterproof formula, which means it's going to last all day, and everyone knows we definitely need that. So now I'm using my brush, it's a contour brush, and I'm just going to be emphasizing those areas that I contoured with. Then down the sides of the nose, and then underneath the jawline as well. And now we are ready for highlighter. Oh, that is my absolute favorite. And we are going to be using the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter in the shade number 30, Beyond Golden Glow. So I'm just using a fluffy brush. I'm picking up some of that product and I'm placing my highlighter on the cheekbone. Sure, look at that. I'm using a smaller blending brush and I'm just going to be highlighting down the bridge of my nose. And then without adding anything more on my brush, I'm just going to be highlighting underneath my brow bone. And now we are ready for blush. I'm going to be using the Nude Peach blush from Catrice and just using a blush brush just to apply that just on the highlighter and the bronzer and mixing in that all together. So what a blush actually does, it actually warms up the face and just brings everything together. So I like to also use the blush on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and on my chin, just to bring and tie everything together. And now that that powder has been baking for a while, I'm just using a little blending brush just to blend the excess away. So now I really just want to finish off that eye and give some definition to my bottom lash line. And I'm going to be doing that by using the shade Cedar. I'm just using a flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to be picking up some of that product and just placing it just underneath the lash. And then I'm going to be going in with the shade Umber in the palette, and that I'm just going to be concentrating just on the outside of the eye, giving it more definition there. To further give this eye more definition, I'm going to be going in with my micro slim pencil just inside the waterline there, just to really define. And lastly, to finish off that eye, I'm going to be going in with the Lift Up Mascara and just placing that just on the lower lash line. So just to finish off this eye area, I'm going to be fixing my brows and going in with the Clean ID Hydro Brow Fixing Gel. So we are almost at the end of this look. We are going to be doing our lips now, and because it is Valentine's Day, we are going to be going in with a classic red lippy. So when I do a red lip, I always want to line my lips first, because lining your lips actually prevents your lipstick from bleeding out, and it just gives your lips more definition and more contour. So let's go ahead and line. I'm going to be using the Plumping Lip Liner from Catrice in the shade Stay Powerful, number 120. So I'm just now feathering that liner into the lips as well. So now I'm ready for lipstick. I'm going to be using the Catrice Vegan Collagen Matte Lipsticks, and this is the shade number 80. I love these lipsticks because it actually has hyaluronic acid and murra butter, which is great for hydration. So this is matte, but it still feels very comfortable on the lips. So now that my lips are on and my entire face is done, I told you guys earlier that I wanted to create a little bit of a fox eye just on the inside of the eye, and this is now where I'm going to finish off the look by doing that. So I'm using the inner corner of my eye as a guideline, and I'm just creating that little slant. So now we are ready to set all of our hard work, and we are using the Catrice Well Control Matte Fixing Spray. Now this is hydrating, and it also is pore minimizing, so it helps to reduce and shrink the size of your pores or make it appear smaller. So we're just going to spray that all over the face, and it's just going to create a seal and a foam and lock in all of our hard work. And there you have it. This is your finished Valentine's Day look for a night out on the town. And remember that all of these products are available from Discount Clicks online, at House of Cosmetics, Take a Lot, Skin Miles, and Superfest. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching.